Søren Kierkegaard is one of the most famous and influential existentialist thinkers in the 19th century. And what better place is there to talk about Søren Kierkegaard and how his philosophy can be applied to high school students than under the Søren Kierkegaard statue in Copenhagen. The first lesson from Kierkegaard as we're walking around the Frederiks Church, or the Marble Church as some people may call it, is the idea that we all have to make a decision. In life or in high school, you're not going to be able to just sit back and do nothing. Everything you do is a decision. Are you going to work hard? Are you going to go play? Are you going to try to fit in? All these questions that you're going to be facing are things that are not purely abstract. All these questions are there to force you to make a decision. You don't have a choice whether or not you want to make that decision, but you must make that decision. And that's something that Kierkegaard talks about when he's talking about faith being a leap of faith. So the question to you, and the first question of this video is, are you going to make that decision? Are you going to stand out? Can you be comfortable with the individual approach to life, or would you rather stay with the crowd, which we'll talk about a bit more in the future? One of the biggest challenges in high school is about fitting in. You want to fit into the crowd. You want to fit into what other people are doing. You want to fit into what your high school friends, the people around you, are doing, even if you don't think it is really right. But the truth is, the crowd is untruth. And what does Kierkegaard mean by that? Well, Kierkegaard is trying to say that you have to be an individual. Yes, it's a risk. It's a very big risk. It's the most important decision you'll ever make. But at the same time, it's a very important decision to make because, well, by being an individual, by standing out from the crowd, you give yourself the responsibility, the accountability to hold on to who you are. You have full accountability. But if you then follow the crowd, what that does is that it then goes and makes you part of the crowd. It's a cowardly decision because then you're no longer acting as part of yourself. You're giving your responsibility, you're giving your accountability to those around you. And as a result, when you're thinking about in high school, well, how am I going to make this decision? Think a bit about it. Are you doing this to fit into the people around you? Or are you doing this decision because you do respect yourself as an individual, that you do want to take on the challenge of personal development, of responsibility? And that is the second point of Kierkegaard's philosophy. The crowd is untruth. And that's a very important idea. We're currently outside the Royal Danish Library, and I'm now going to be talking about how Kierkegaard's conception of self-love versus Christian love can be applicable to high school relationships and high school friendships to help you judge between who's your true friends and who's your false friends. Kierkegaard argues that most relationships, although we think we're being selfless, are actually selfish relationships. They're a result of self-love. What Kierkegaard asks you to do to realize this is to imagine or posit an other. So in between you and your friend, you say there's a third person who's acting in between you, a mediator. The moment you posit that third person, a human being, you immediately become self-conscious and you immediately become jealous about that person's relationship with you and your friend. You say, well, okay, the third person might be closer to my friend. The third person might like my friend more than me. I'm jealous of their relationship. I'm jealous of what they're going together. That form of love is jealousy. You love your friend. You might be close to your friend because of some differences you share. And you think that difference makes you special. Or you might think you guys share a similarity, and that similarity makes you different from everyone else in the world. You fall into this tribe mentality, you fall into this crowd mentality, and as a result, that leads to the development of jealousy, that leads to the development of anger, and that leads to the development of love, which is not true. Now that's a very fascinating thing, because if you're thinking about it, well, actually, perhaps a lot of relationships that you have might be a result of that selfish love. People might view you in a selfish way, but you might also view other people in a selfish way. And you need to think about that to say, well, who are my true friends? Who am I being a true friend to? And who may I not be a true friend to? Alternatively, what Kierkegaard says is the proper model is a Christian love. It's a selfless love. It's putting the other in front of yourself. It's saying, well, I view you as an important individual whom I love regardless of those differences. I put away those differences between us. I don't care about differences. I don't care about that mediator in the sense that I'm no longer jealous. And that is the way to test whether your love towards people is true. And that's something which I think Kierkegaard does a very, very good job in illustrating about how you can judge and how you can build true relationships in high school and how you can build or identify false relationships in high school. Now, the final thing that high school students can learn from Kierkegaard is that decision-making is forced. You are forced to make a decision. You don't have a choice to say, I don't want to take part of it. You cannot be a conscientious objector in this situation to the decision that you have to make for your high school life. You have to be active. You have a choice to fit in with what most people are doing or stand out and try to make the most of your high school experience. You can choose to work hard. You can choose to go clubbing. You can choose to go drinking. All of these choices are in your hands. So I would like to leave you with one question. What do you think is worthy of your high school experience? Do you plan after hearing about Kierkegaard's philosophy to continue trying to fit into the crowd? Or are you going to get your act together? Are you going to start working hard? Are you going to put in double the effort than everyone else? Skip the clubs, skip all the tempting things to do in high school, but work hard, put in that effort in. Try to make the most of your high school experience. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about Kierkegaard? What do you think about your high school experience? What do you think are some things that you can improve, change, or what are some things that you think you're doing well? I hope you've enjoyed this Kierkegaardian stroll through the streets of Copenhagen to talk about how Kierkegaard can be applied to high school life. If you enjoyed this video, show your support by liking and subscribing. It means a lot to me and it helps the channel grow a lot. Stay safe, see you soon, thank you for watching, and goodbye. I'll see you next one.